did I write 5.3? 5.4. Write linear equations in standard form. So, on this quiz, it's going to be super, super important that you follow instructions because we have now done it by writing it in slope-intercept form. We had 2 different methods that we used to do that. We've also done point-slope form, which is my personal favorite, and then now we're going to do it in standard form. Now, I'm going to tell you this section is not long or hard. This one standard form isn't used as much just because of the way it's written. But standard form is going to look like intercept form where we were finding the intercepts and graphing. It's going to look just like that where we need to get x and y on one side. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. So any linear equation can be written in this form pretty easily by just simply moving things over. Did I skip something? All right, so if we had something like this, where it says to write an equation in standard form of the line through 3, -1 and 2, -3, then what we need to do first is find slope. We know the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm first going to do that. So m equals -3 minus a negative, so +1 over 2 minus 3, which is going to give us, I don't want you to solve it for me, -2 over -1, which would just be a +2. So now I can use point-slope form that we learned yesterday to write an equation of the line, and then we can transfer it into standard form. So what was my formula for point-slope form with letters?
Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
Yep, perfect. So which point do we want to use, first one or the second one?
First.
Okay, let's use this one. So I'm going to plug this stuff in. So I have y minus a negative, so that's going to be +1, equals m, which is 2, times x minus x1 is 3. Now, yesterday we did a couple of these where we got y by itself. So I need to get it in standard form, which means I need x and y on one side and then the numbers by themselves. So first I'm going to FOIL this. So that's going to give me y plus 1 equals 2x minus 6. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the x terms over here and I'm going to move the numbers over here. I'm going to do this all in one step just so that we see what's happening. I'm going to show the minus 2x on both sides and I'm going to show the minus 1 on both sides so that I'm tracking with everything that's going on. So I end up with negative 2x plus y. The 1's cancel each other. Over here, the 2x's cancel each other. And then I have negative 6 minus 1. So it's equal to negative 7. And this would be the equation in standard form. Now, something else that they could ask us to do is they could ask us to write the equation of the horizontal and vertical lines through the given point. So let's say they gave us the point -8, -9, yes.
Can I show them what those are?
So ignore the numbers for the moment. In general, what is the equation of a horizontal line? It's a line going like this, so what is the equation, just generically? Is it x or y equals?
X.
No, Y.
Y, because it's going this way, it's got to go through the y-axis, so it's going to be y equals some number. I'm just going to say A. How about vertical lines?
Straight up and down.
Up and down.
Yep, straight up and down, so these are x equals, I'm just going to say B. A and B are just numbers, random numbers. So when they give us a point and they want us to write the equation of the horizontal and vertical lines, that means that I'm going to be writing an equation like this, so a y equals and an x equals equation to account for those two lines, okay, that can go through that point. So the horizontal one is the y, so we're going to say y equals the y value here, which is -9. The vertical one then would be x equals -8. And those are your two equations of your lines going through that point. So those ones are nice and easy. Technically speaking, these are in standard form also. That's why it's in this section, because you don't have to have like x and y for it to be in standard form, but any of the variables that you have to be on the left. Another one of these ones, if I had the point 14, -2, what would my horizontal line be?
-2.
Y equals -2. And what about my vertical line?
14.
Y equals 14.
Vertical's
X
not y.
Yes.
14.
X equals 14 is vertical. All right, let's jump into some problems that are in the book here. So I'm going to show you one thing in here, but I'm probably not going to give you any like this, but I just want you to understand like what they're asking for in case you ever see a problem come up like this somewhere. Like your standardized testing could have something like this, so just in case. It says to write two equations in standard form that are equivalent to the given equation. So these have so many possible options of answers. That's why, like, I mean, it's not a bad thing to go over this. I just want you to see the concept, but I don't expect you to, like, do these because they're kind of just repetitive. So if I had a problem like number 6, 5x plus 10y equals 15, they want two other equations that are equivalent to that, okay? What does that mean? But what would that mean? Well, what would that mean if I were to graph this equation and the other two equations they're asking me? Yeah, they should be exactly the same. They should be a line stacked on top of each other. So what they want me to do is essentially you multiply the entire equation by something. So somebody pick a number.
2.
5.
2. Okay. So I'm going to pick 2 first, and then somebody else heard 5. That was the other number I heard. So we'll do that. So I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 2. So that's going to give me 10x plus 20y equals 30. That's one equivalent equation. I could multiply the whole thing by 5. That was the other number that I heard. Huh? Well, 1 would be the exact same equation, so I can't use 1.
Zero.
No, 0 won't work either. So, 25x plus 50y equals 75. That's also an equivalent equation, okay? Those would all give us the same value if I were to graph these. Because what's going to end up happening is that they're going to end up reducing when I put it in slope-intercept form and I graph them. But maybe you can see why I'm not going to ask you to do these, because it's pretty much just pick a number and multiply. Like, I trust that you guys could do that if you had to. Okay? Alright, so we're going to jump down to writing an equation in standard form of the line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. So, some of them they're going to give us the slope, and some of them we're going to have to find the slope. So in 12, I have the point 4, -1 and a slope of 3. So the first thing I'm going to do is put it in point slope form, and then I'm going to manipulate it. So in point slope form, what would my equation be with these numbers plugged into it? That was our whole assignment yesterday, so we should be good on that now.
1 + 1 equals 3 times x.
Yep, -4. So that's in point slope form right now. We're trying to get it in standard form. So I'm going to distribute over here. So I've got y + 1 equals 3x - 12. Standard form is x and y on one side, the numbers on the other. So I'm going to subtract 3x and I'm going to subtract 1. I'm doing it all in one step. If you want to do it in 2 separate ones, you can. But I'm going to end up with -3x + y equals, I'm subtracting this 1 over here, -12 - 1 is -13. So this is my equation in standard form. So really it's just taking it a step farther than what we did yesterday. Um, 14. -8, 0, and m is equal to -4. So I don't remember if we had one that was like this yesterday where the y1 value was 0. But if that happens, we don't need to write -0. We can just not write anything. We can just write y equals, okay, because y - 0 is just y. So we can skip that part. -4 times x minus, plus, minus a negative, so it's plus. So x + 8 is in the parentheses. Then I need to distribute. So y equals -4x - 32. And now I don't have any numbers that need to move to the right, but I need to move that x to the left, so I'm going to add 4x. So I end up with 4x + y equals -32. All right, 18. This one, they give us 2 points instead. So they give us -5, 2 and -4, 3. So they didn't give me a slope this time, so I need to find it. How do I find slope? You can just tell me what the number is, what to plug in.
Oh,
3 minus 2
No.
Yes, we can just say
over
we don't have to.
4 plus 5. -4 plus 5.
Yep, minus negative is plus, so that's good. So 3 minus 2 is 1. -4 plus 5 is 1. So this is a slope of 1. So now, which point do we want to use? Negative 4, 3. So let's use that one. So plugged into point slope form, what do I get?
y2,
With a number. With a number.
Minus y1.
negative, 3.
Okay, y minus 3 equals.
1.
Yeah.
Now, because it's a 1, do I need to actually write it?
No, just write
No.
X.
So I can just go straight to x. What would be next?
Plus 4.
Plus 4. Okay, because minus a negative would be plus. So if you want to write the 1 and do it that way like we were doing, just to help you not be confused, you're welcome to do that, but you do not have to. What would my step be now to get it into standard form?
What do you
The
do?
X over.
Move the x over, and what else?
Plus
3 add 3.
Yep, I'm going to add the 3, and I'm subtracting x, so I have negative x plus y equals 4 plus 3, which is 7. So negative x plus y equals 7. Now, I'm going to show you that even if I use the other point, I'm going to get the exact same answer. Proved it to you yesterday with something different, but in standard form, just in case you maybe don't think that it will. Y minus 2 equals 1 times x, I don't know why I just wrote that, x minus, plus 5. So then I would subtract x, add the 2, so negative x plus y equals 7. So either point that you use will give you the same final answer. The only thing that's going to look different is the point slope form of the equation, which is what we talked about yesterday, that there are basically 2 possible answers when you have that. All right, I want you to try number 20 on your own, and then we'll go over it. These are the points 3, 9, and 1, 1. So you'll need to find slope, put it in point slope form, and then change it to standard form. So take a minute and do that. All right, what do we get?
4x plus y. Plus y. That's what I said. I said plus y.
Should be negative 4x plus y equals negative 3. So I did it with both. I assumed that most of you probably used the 0.11.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I did.
So I did it both ways. If you use 3, 9, that's the one on the right in red. But you would get the slope of 4. Did everybody get a slope of 4?
No.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah.
How did you get negative?
Yeah.
How would you not? How would you not, Sam?
I didn't get a
No, I did.
What'd you get?
All right, so I got the slope of 4, so then in point slope form I had y minus 1 equals 4 times x minus 1, or the other point on the other side. So that gives me y minus 1 equals 4x minus 4. We have to move that 4x over by, it was positive, so I need to make it negative, so I subtract it. So negative 4x plus y, and then I add the 1 over. Negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. So negative 4x plus y equals negative 3. All right, one more. 22. The point negative 6, negative 2, and negative 1, negative 2. What do I need to do first?
Find the slope.
Find slope. How do I set it up?
Negative 2 plus 2.
Negative 2 plus 2 over negative 1 plus 6. You?
What do I get?
0.
So what does that mean about my slope?
Undefined.
The slope is 0. 0 can be on top, but it cannot be on the bottom. Several of you mixed that up on the test. 0 on the bottom causes a problem. 0 on top is okay. All right, so the slope is 0. So when I go to put this in point slope form, which equation do you want to use?
First one.
Or point, first one? Okay.
Second.
I heard the first one first, so. All right, so we're using this one. So I have y minus a negative, so that's plus 2 equals. Notice, my slope is 0. What's going to happen when I multiply 0 by this stuff in parentheses? It's going to go away. I'm just left with a 0. So I have y plus 2 equals 0. I still need just y on the left. So I subtract 2, so this one is y equals negative 2. It would not have mattered which point we chose. That's why I let it go with the quote-unquote harder one. Okay, if you wanted to still write in here x plus 6, you could, but it's going to still go to 0. So you don't even need to write that. You can just put a 0 over there. Any questions on these ones of writing in standard form?
How do you know when to like plus and minus for like when you're adding up the digits to go to like the final thing? Because when it's like plus, it's not plus.
Well, to move it from one side of the equation to the other, you have to change the sign. Always. That's what we did in chapter 3.
Wait, so do you always move the right side to the left?
I have to move x and y to the left and the numbers to the right for standard form.
How do you get negative 2 if you know what 2?
Because I subtracted 2 over. I moved it to the right. This is y plus 2 to move it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I see it. Yeah. Okay. I was still looking at the 6, but I thought it was like 4.
You have a question?
Yeah, it's not about this, but like a quiz that's not up
Okay,
there.
then a quiz that's not up there. It's because one of them has a funny, I had the wrong numbers at the top. It's like quiz 2.5 to 2.7. It actually is one that says like 2.4 to 2.6 or something.
Yeah, 225.
Yeah, that's why. It just has a weird name. I had fixed it on my copy. I didn't realize I didn't fix it on y'all's. Okay. The last thing is writing the equations of the horizontal and vertical lines. So, 24. The point negative 5, negative 3. I need the horizontal and vertical line. What would the horizontal line be?
5.
No.
Negative
Negative
3.
5. I mean negative 3.
That's not a line. That's a number. What's the line?
X-axis. Y-axis.
And
Bro!
The equation of the line. I did one of these for you earlier.
Y equals A.
Okay, so y equals what in this situation?
5.
Negative 5. Negative.
What's the y coordinate of a point?
Negative 3.
The second number always. So why would it be negative 5?
It's not.
It's not. Okay, y equals negative 3.
That's not.
What is the equation of the vertical line?
X equals negative 5.
X equals negative 5. Yes.
Oh my god.
All right, 26. The point 5, 3. What's the equation of the vertical line?
Y equals 3.
Somebody didn't listen to me. I said, what's the equation of the vertical line? Elliot, listen to me. Elliot, say it one more time for us.
X equals 5.
X equals 5. I tripped you up. I was trying to get you to pay attention. X equals 5 is the vertical line. What about the horizontal line?
Y equals 3.
Y equals 3.
You got it right. No, you did not.
All right, last one. 28. The point -6, -2.
X equals -2.
What's the horizontal line?
Y equals -6.
-2.
Bro.
Y equals -2. What's the vertical line?
X equals -6.
X equals -6. Gotta pay attention to what they're asking for. Alright, your problems, and unfortunately you will not have time to do them in class, so you will have to do them at home, which has been a very rare thing this year. Is 11 through 25 odd? So, if you didn't finish your 5-3 yesterday, which most of you did, and I already checked it off and put it in grade link, that is due tomorrow. And then this is also due tomorrow. Tomorrow we will review for your quiz that's on Monday. Monday we'll do the final section. Tuesday we'll review for the test.